Hello, this week I wanted to show you a tech tool called Classroomscreen. You may have heard of this before from Mr. Young, but Lowell introduced this to me last week, and I thought it was a tool that has a lot of good options for teachers to use in their classroom, and I wanted to share it with you guys as well. So, classroomscreen.com, you can see the website up here is a free tool that obviously you can always upgrade to pro, but a free tool that you could use in your classroom. And I'll just kind of walk through some of the features. So I went to the website, and when I get to the website, I can click the big green button here that says Launch Classroomscreen. As you can see, it's going to open in a new window. And once it loads, we're going to see the background that it has assigned for the day and all of the different tools. So we have obviously the free version here, but this is something you could open up at the beginning of the day if you have a smart board or a projector, and it would kind of be like the background for the day, something you could leave up throughout the day and then use the tools as you wanted. It would be a great option to pin this um, window and then open it up each day. So again, this is the free version. So there are a couple of things we can't do. The first one being you can't set the same background to show up every day. I don't know if that's a big deal to you. But for example, if I clicked this campfire one, that's not the same one that's going to show up tomorrow when I open it unless I go in there and select it again. But that is one of the features is you can go in and set any of these backgrounds. You can upload a picture. You can just pick a plain color, and that would be the background of the day when it is being presented to or presented in your room. So I'm just going to go across the bottom here what all of these different tools are and give a couple ideas of how you could use them in your classroom. So the first one is a random name picker. So when I click on it, it shows up here on my classroom screen, and I can copy and paste a list of names in here. The downfall of not having pro is that we can't save lists. So what you might have to do if you see multiple groups of students is have your student lists on another tab or in another document, and then you just copy and paste it. So I'm going to copy and paste a chunk of the staff list back to my classroom screen. I'm going to paste the list in there. And then I can click choose, and it's just going to give me random names. And randomly, I got my own. Look at that. And then I can click choose again. And this is something you could use in your classroom if you wanted to randomly choose names instead of having people raise their hands, or if you wanted to use this to maybe make some groups for you. But it's built right in there, and you just put that list of names that you want. And then when you're done with it, you just click the X. More tools. There are dice. If you are doing something in your classroom that requires dice, or maybe you have numbered groups and you want to call on them randomly, you can click the dice and it will roll. Again, just a built-in feature. It has a sound level feature. So when I click on that one, I have the sound level currently set to this sensitivity and max noise. So if you were having work time in your classroom and you wanted to make sure that it stayed at a quiet level, this is just a kind of a tool you could use to track the noise in your classroom. I can set it so that it makes a noise if I have reached that max noise, and I can also change the sensitivity. I can make the microphone more or less sensitive and decide what I want the max noise to be. And maybe that's something you just have up on your screen while kids are working. There is a media option, and what this would allow you to do is upload a picture to have or display on your screen, or play a YouTube video right on this screen by putting the link in there. This is a feature I thought was really cool for especially teachers with iPads. So this is the QR feature. By clicking on it, it puts this QR code up on my screen, and I can put any website in here. So let's say you're doing an activity and you want to redirect your students all to the same website, but you haven't posted that anywhere. If you maybe post the website, certain students have difficulty getting it copied down correctly. But I just took the school district website, I copied the address, and now I'm going to paste it in here. You may have noticed that the QR code changed a little bit. You can make this bigger, and you would be able to ask all of your students sitting in their desk to scan the QR code or walk up and scan the QR code, and it will direct everyone to the same place. So I just scan it on my phone. I'm going to open the link, and I'm already at the AGWSR website. It's nice because you don't have to have this pre-made. You can just put a different website address in there, and the QR code will automatically change. So a nice way of directing everyone to the exact same spot. There is a draw feature. So I can drag my draw feature over here and use this like a whiteboard. I can draw at different widths. I can erase. And you could use this just like you use the plain whiteboard in your classroom or on your smartboard. There is a text, so you can type in anything you want here. Maybe you have given some directions for an activity, and after kids start working, you retype the directions and have them up on the board so they're a reference. The text box would be a good use for that. This is kind of nice for work time as well. This is a work symbols tool. So again, I can change the size of it. But when I have given an activity, I could have a symbol to show my students what I'm expecting of them. So this is about like conversation levels. So you could mark that you want it to be silent, that you want there to be a whisper voice, that they can be talking to a neighbor, or that they can be working all together. I think of some of our PBIS voice levels, and this could be a nice one to just have up as a visual reminder to your students. There is a traffic light, which would really be multi-purpose. If you, for whatever activity you were doing, you decided a purpose for the different color lights. So I just click on the lights and they change. I worked at a one-to-one district that used stoplights to tell their students how they were going to be using their devices that day. So if they walked in and there was a red light, that meant they were not going to need their device and they should put it under their desk. If they walked in and saw a yellow light, that meant that they would be using their devices, but not right away. So have them on their desk, but not opened. And then a green light told them that they would be using their devices right away. So they should sit down and open their device. So just one example of how you might use the stoplight. There is a classroom timer. I am a huge fan of using timers in the classroom. What I really like about this one is that it's also a visual timer. So let's do an easy 10-second timer. You can customize that to whatever you want. Push play. And this circle will also be your visual to students about how much time is left. That's a really good way to help students manage their own behavior, help with time management, be aware of their on-task behavior and if they're making progress. So I like that it's the clock and it's the visual. There is a stopwatch that you can put up on your screen. So if you're going to give students so much time to do something, or you want to see how quickly they can get something accomplished, that would be a use for the stopwatch. And here are just more probably teacher related things. You can have a clock that's up and you can show a calendar. So there's a lot of different tools. Another thing that I thought was really nice is you can have multiple tools up there at one time. So for example, I could use my text box and I could type out the directions to an activity. I could use the work symbols to show my students that I want it to be silent during this activity. And I could put the timer up to show them that they have 10 minutes to work on their activity. And you can combine these tools in as many different ways as you want and as many as you want without it looking overcrowded. But I kind of see it being a good tool that you could use kind of on in the background of your class, especially during work time, to have some visual information or visual reference for students. So if you are interested in trying classroomscreen.com, again, you would go super easy. You would type in classroomscreen.com and you would click launch classroom screen. Now, as I mentioned before, because we don't have a paid version of this, when you close out of your screen, the next time you want to pull it up again, you're going to have to go to classroomscreen.com or have that bookmarked and launch a new one. It'll open up. It will probably have a different background on it. And it won't save any of the tools that you had on your classroom screen. You would have to reset that. But also, like I said, if you had it bookmarked or you had it pinned, that would be really easy for you to do each day. If you try Classroom Screen, you have some questions about how it works, or if it's not working for you, go ahead and reach out. Otherwise, thank you for watching.